They're not lesbian.
But the energy, I'm saying, isn't the energy the same?
Listen to the Reverend using the word energy so many times.
Yeah, because I don't use it the way.
Anyways.
I gotta be on the right frequency, and I gotta vibrate at the right frequency. And it's like, bro, calm down with all these numbers tattooed on your body.
Who are you talking about?
Whoever talks like that.
Oh, okay.
Whoever talks like that. It's like, oh, it's your angel number, your angel frequency, and your all these accessories.
You don't have a specific
accessories to Jesus. However, I do have my shirt that says Jesus plus therapy is healing. So, of course, it's not the same thing. What's up? I'm Z.
Actually, I'm Z.
I was Z first.
It really doesn't matter. I'm the better Z. Although that's really not reflecting right now because, anyways. And we're here to spill some tea.
Don't downplay yourself just because you're not as good as me.
And if you don't want to hear our tea, then deuces.
Deuces is the name of the show. Let's get into the tea. I can guess what it's going to be.
I just want to say my brother looks very nice today. He does. He's got a fresh braids. I like his outfit.
It's actually a week, but I'm just trying to take care of him.
Oh, they look very good for a week old. Mm-hmm. And I'm still in my clothes that I worked out in this morning because I had a long morning. So
I've been working out. I posted the thing on TikTok and I'm all like, I'm liking what I'm seeing in the mirror. So it motivates me to stay on the path that I am. Actually, it motivates me to do more because I'm all like, yo, I feel like a 6-pack is reachable with what I'm currently doing.
Didn't you have a 6-pack before?
Have I had like an actual 6-pack since I turned 40? I mean, I'm not 41, but since I turned 40. No, I have like the 2 at the top all the time, but the stubborn area at the bottom, I haven't had that since. Actually, even when I was 10%, it wasn't like a 6-pack, but it was, it was like one, thing with the joints they call them. What's the name? The Justin Bieber pastor had Carlos's. But I ain't trying to be no 10% body fat. I'm just trying to, be fit, look good.
I feel it.
Good representation.
Same.
But yeah. So I was like, oh, let me just put this because the shirt fits. Yeah. My clothes fit. They fit the clothes I had before, and I'm all like, oh yeah, see that's an indication, and it helps me save money.
I'm going paddleboarding tomorrow, and I have to get a new swimsuit because.
See, if that's not motivation.
I'm a little extra thick right now.
To be like,
it is.
Let me. I can't be buying no more clothes.
My problem isn't. I love to work out. My problem is I also love fried chicken and everything that has me having the problems that I have. So
just intermittent fast. Then it won't matter. Just have your cutoff and like.
But also, I don't just want a quick fix because I do want to change the way I want to be here.
No, keep intermittent fast forever.
I want to be here for a long time.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. Intermittent fast forever. Don't just intermittent fast is like a diet or not. Be like, this is my diet is intermittent fast.
I hear what you're saying, but also because you made it sound like just intermittent fast and still eat what you want. I still want to not eat what I want. Like I still want to relearn and retrain myself so I'm not eating so many fried, salty foods because that is my downfall. That's what I mean by that.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, I don't know about that because I mean, intermittent fasting works for me, and I'll eat like salad, but I'll still probably do it with my little fake fried stuff with like a big salad, but I still got the little fake stuff which should be like the little. It says your hands should be the protein. It'd be more than that, but because I'm intermittent fasting, it's like, and then I'm working out, so I'm burning like on average 600 calories, and I try to do another cardio, so 600 to 800 calories I'm burning a day, and then I'm only eating for a window. So it's like.
Yeah, which would be easy with my job to do. I should try it again, but I'm like, and just also being older now, like the things that I'm doing now, because
being older, was it?
Because a woman's body changes and it gets so I'm a lot closer to 40 now, and I'm doing everything that I was doing when I was late 20s, early 30s, like when I first moved out here.
Are you talking about like working out wise?
Yeah, working out wise and
Yeah.
what I'm eating.
Yeah, yes.
I'm doing the same thing, but I'm not getting this. And when I say what I'm eating, what I mean is I was never eating like super duper healthy. I was still like sneaking in what I wanted. So I'm doing the same exact thing. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm older now. They weren't lying about that. So I gotta.
That's just regular body changes. Are you saying it compounds or it's different because you're a woman going to change?
Yeah.
So it's regular body changes and
as you get older.
Yeah, the regular older stuff I can relate to because
women. I know so many women who are like, hurry up and get it under control before you hit 40, because when you hit 40, it's true. It's gonna it's gonna change and be even harder. So, yeah. Anyways, on to today's topic instead of my thickness right now. You said you bet you can guess what the topic is. Guess.
Yeah.
Guess.
Diddy, devil, demon, Diddy,
the diddler. Yeah, we're going to talk about that sorry excuse of a man and what's going on and how it's really just revealing to a lot of people who you thought you knew and how they really feel.
What is that? I saw that post. I'm like, what?
I'm just seeing posts on Facebook from people that I grew up with, I went to school with. It's not like that I'm super close with them, but I'm friendly with them.
They're like, Cassie's lying.
And somebody was like, see, y'all see what's coming out about Tori right now. You just got to wait and be sure, because why wouldn't she just leave? And immediately I'm just unfriending you.
What? Why? Just because I have an opinion?
I'm not trying to say that Cassie's not a victim, but like, did you guys not just see the video alone?
But why would that now?
Because if that's your perspective, when it comes to something like that, I'm really just looking at you funny. And I don't need to kick it with you, hang out with none of that.
That's crazy. It's supposed to be the Christians that's supposed to be the ones that's like, that seems kind of biggity.
I didn't say that I hated them. I didn't say, but just because you're Christian, saying, okay, now doesn't you don't mean you have to hang out with everybody.
It's the Christians that have the label of being judgmental. What you're saying sounds, it's reminiscent of a situation when I was in the Navy on a ship. There was this guy and he would dress up as a woman. He was married to a woman, ain't had no eyebrows. So that was kind of like, okay, they kind of made more sense once you see that he had the dress because he would draw them on. And I was like, okay, that's a match. So I guess he liked to do in drag, which is what this was like earlier. But that's what he did. And people alienated this man just because they saw these pictures. And it was like on Facebook. And it wasn't for Halloween. It was for a competition or something like that. And people were alienating him. I treated him the same way I treated him before. And then people came at me. And I'm all like, and this is what I said to myself. That's crazy that y'all would say that Christians, quote unquote, would be the ones that are judgmental, but y'all are being extra judgmental. And it's not even like he's gay. This is before Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed in the Navy. So it's not even like, you know what I'm talking about? It's like, I don't know if it is homophobia, but it's like he just dresses in a dress. I don't agree with it necessarily, but he's still the same guy that you was sitting here before.
That's not the same as this situation. Because because number one, that is some type of form of, just because you saw a picture of somebody dressed as a woman, you're not going to mess with them, is not the same as somebody who you may have been in the same circles with or may have hung around, seeing how Diddy beat Cassie and posting something, being like, I don't know, we got to let it play out. The media be exaggerating. He might be innocent. We're doing all
innocent
this
of the it's like a RICO charge.
But they're not talking about, it'd be different if somebody was like, just to play devil's advocate, let's look at, that's not what I'm talking about.
So you want them to say it a certain way?
I'm talking about people straight up being like, I don't know, Cassie wanted it. That's what I'm talking about. Because to me, you're sounding like somebody who blames victims, and I don't trust that.
Well, didn't she say she wanted it until she didn't want it? So is that inaccurate to say that yeah, she wanted it until she didn't want it? And just to be clear, the way I look at it is even if she did say she wanted it, the age difference and the naivety,
that's what I was
like,
about to
bro,
go
like,
to
let's just
next.
relax. However, at the same time, for me to, I'm imposing my beliefs on somebody else when America clearly doesn't believe the same. Clearly doesn't believe the same, which is why that was legal to happen in the first place, like with the age difference. And then when you see these things, it's all like I would calculate into it the influence and in him being in the position that he has and how we raise people up to these positions and now they're on a different level of accountability. It's like this is a result of what happens when you are actively into godless living. That's what I would say. Now, am I saying that it's people's fault? No, I'm saying I'm looking at it through a lens with renewed vision. The person making that comment, what's the context behind it? Because I can't look at this comment and just be all like, oh, that means A, B, C, D, and F. I got to talk to them, say, hey, what do you mean by this comment? And what do you believe? It might just be particularly to this specific situation with Cassie and Dick.
That's what I'm saying. The types of posts out there where there was no confusion for me to be like, let me get clarification on that. It was very cut and dry how they feel. And the other one was like, I'm not trying to say Cassie's not a victim, but she waited till, she saw Diddy spoiling Young Miami. Then she wanted to sue and then she wanted to do this. And, what are you talking about?
Wait, what are you talking about? Spoiling Young Miami. I haven't been keeping up. Like
somebody was trying to imply that when Diddy was with Young Miami and was spoiling her, then Cassie wanted to come out and sue.
Oh, I'm thinking about Young. I'm like, is she gay? That's Young M.A.
Yeah, no, not her.
Young Miami. That's the chick when he was like, I'm love.
Yes.
Okay, and she was like, she never has experienced any. Okay, I know.
She was a city girl. And it's like, actually, what happened was,
ain't she like 12 too?
Yes. And it's like, but actually, you're out here being stupid because actually, what happened was, if you paid a little bit of attention to the case. Cassie went through because all I'm paying is a little bit of attention.
If you pay a little bit of attention and stop being stupid,
like it's irritating. Because what are you talking about? Okay, what happened was Cassie had her whole. She moved on. She had her husband. She was still having mental health issues. Wanted to unalive herself. Went through this whole thing.
She's probably going to continue.
Went to therapy.
Jesus come back.
Went to therapy. She ended up writing some like 20-page or not 20-page, but some book to Diddy of everything that he did to her and how it made her feel as a part of her therapeutic process. Sent it to him and his team and got no response, no acknowledgement, no apologies, no nothing. That's what she wanted initially. When he did not respond to that, then that's when she said, okay, well then fine, I'm going to take him to court and I'm going to hit him in his pockets because, I'm not getting any kind of closure, relief, apology, something for all the trauma that she went through. You just want to not acknowledge me. Okay, so now I'm going to go to court. So then that's when she went to court.
Let's say that it is because of Young Miami for the individual that posted it. Like, what does that now mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
Does it disregard?
So let's say she did do that. Let's say you're 100% right. What does that mean? There's no circumstance, the influence of drugs or anything else that would excuse what we saw in the video. He's not on trial for that. However, there's no excuse for that whatsoever. What he is on trial for is what is it, like the trafficking and things like that he's being accused of. So she is a witness to that, right? And then I guess she could be implicated as like being a part of it, but I think she probably had immunity. And this is just, I'm not super following the case, but people posting things and the public opinion is like, well, people are going to have their opinions. They're entitled to their opinions.
For sure.
But for you to be all like, it's one thing to say, I might need to reevaluate, but then to be all like, unfollow, you no longer have access to me because you've expressed this opinion online and not even to me personally. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no. And I stand by that. And I thought if I made it, I was like, if I can make it through the election.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I can make it through anything.
And I was like, dang, is that serious?
But then I was like, no, because I'm a woman. I have a daughter. And I'm just like, how is that your view. And it wouldn't be, it's different if somebody playing devil's advocate and let's look out, but to just be accusatory and coming at Cassie as if she even wants to be in court testifying at almost 9 months pregnant right now. Like, that's what I stand by that. And also I get to curate my timeline and how I want it. So I don't need to mute your post because you don't need to also still see what I'm doing. We clearly have a difference of opinion there when it comes to hurting women and children and just certain things. I'm like,
is that obvious from this? That's what I'm talking about, like context. Specifically, if this person is saying, hey, be accountable to what you're accountable to, Cassie, you put yourself in that situation. Is that completely wrong? I wouldn't say that's completely wrong.
That's not completely wrong.
However,
but even that's
there's
different.
there's still like nuance there where looking again at the age difference and also the influence difference. How it's like she was his artist. And it's like this is why these things like should be separate. And I don't even hate to go back to it, to be like practicing abstinence. It's like all of that comes into it. So are we raising our children to just be like aware? Because whatever it is that you are putting before a standard, or maybe you don't even have a standard. So you're like, well, because even with the R. Kelly, when the parents were like, yeah, we let our kid go because we thought, oh, it's R. Kelly. It's all like, yo, because we're putting all of this prominence on this position that this person has that we've established means something, but really doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. It's like just a super old guy messing with a super young girl. It's like, no, where were the people that were there to protect Cassie? Now, she was an adult by American standards, by American terms. Did you put herself in a situation? Yes. Could there things that be prevented it? Yes. Does that make any of it okay? No. Did he also put himself in that situation? Right? He made all of the decisions that he made. So rather we deem it to be okay or not, this is the practicality, I say, of the Bible. Yeah. Things like this happen because of these foolish decisions that we are making. We are taking our free will and not be, the Bible says you're free to serve Christ, but we're taking our freedom and we're serving our own gains. We're making ourselves the gods of our own lives. Boss. And now this is the stuff that is happening. All of this foolishness, all this foolery.
It's absolute foolishness. And I stand by my post and I stand by deleting people who are on
deleting people online, not deleting them from the earth.
Online.
Because the way it sounded was like
online.
You over there rubbing knuckles like, I stand by deleting these niggas.
Because it's like, to me, it just goes deeper than I'm like, you're the type of person, like, if your daughter did come to you and say her uncle was doing something, would you believe her? Would you investigate it? Would you hide it? Are you the one? Like, it just goes, whatever.
I'm just saying, those are a lot of conclusions to jump to.
Yeah.
Without the context.
That's why I wish.
Are these just online people though? These aren't people that you talk to.
These are people online like that I went to school with, people that I know.
Yeah. So, but it's like, you don't know. It's like, this is your circle. And then they're on like this circle and they can get into the other circle, but you would have to like reconnect and like,
Yeah. But now they can be in their own circles, and I would go find the posts.
But now they're in the square over here.
I deleted them. So, and we'll continue to, because you're stupid. It's just different. It's just the whole energy of she wanted it and she just sued for 20 mil. Just like what? Like, anyways. I feel like people don't understand the gravitas of a huge celebrity like that. Like, do you guys understand the way that this man beat this woman in the hallway of that hotel and we never saw the footage until when we did, which was years later? How many people work at that hotel? How many people was aware of that situation? How many people work for Diddy and see him? He was beating her up in front of Danny Kane members. They're about to have to testify. Like, that's the gravitas of this man that he's doing. Everybody's like, why not just say something? Because allegedly there's people deaths that he's, you just don't know until you're in that situation. That video, I'm gonna find that video I posted to play it because she said it the best.
Even if it's not a situation where it's a big celebrity, it's not fair to look at somebody else in a situation and then now again assign your beliefs, your standards, and how you were brought up. Well, this is what I would do in this situation. One, you're not in the situation. And two, just because you would do that doesn't mean that they are thinking, okay, I better get out of here. No, they might be thinking I'm going to die if I try to get out of here. So for them, it's life or death. This is what I learned by being an advocate, or when I did the sexual assault and prevention representative. And this is what they taught us in the classes. And they say, the sexual assaults are it's a high percentage of people that you know. It's like you're more likely to be assaulted by somebody who you know. Mm-hmm. They've established trust. So then when these things happen, mentally, it's all like, is this really happening? Mm-hmm. So you might go into a trance. And then after it happens, there is going to be the consequence of the action of what happened. Okay, so now, how am I looking at myself? How am I looking at this person? How does everybody else view this person? And again, it goes back to us putting all this prestige on position. Oh my gosh. Well, now that people are going to think I'm attacking this man and stuff like that. And it's all like two things can be true on one time. Yeah. Diddy is a black man. He's a mogul, right? He represents a lot, but at the same time, he's living this life. He's choosing to live this life. And this is the consequence of those actions. So the person that really should have been thinking about that was probably Diddy. Like, nah, I got too much going on. Even if I have these desires, I don't want to do anything to reflect bad on the black community. And you shouldn't even have the black community on your shoulders as a black man. However, again, the way America is set up is like, yes, that's also the reality.
I feel like this girl's video says it the best. I love it. That's Joe Coy. That's not it.
Why is Cassie testifying? Why is Cassie testifying? Because she's under a federal subpoena. What are you talking about? This is a federal RICO trial. She's not testifying because she wants to. She's testifying because she has to. You don't get a choice. The choice is come to court and testify or go to jail. Those are the options. If people keep saying, oh, well, she already got her money, she settled, that case is closed. Yeah, that was a different case. Correct. Yeah. That was a civil case. This is a criminal trial. Different court, different rules, different stakes. And y'all are like, oh, well, I just don't get why she stayed. If it were me, I would have left. You're scared to ask your boss for a raise. Your boss told you to flat iron your hair because it looks more professional than your curly hair. You've been wearing it like that for 3 years. Your group chat is toxic and you haven't even left that.
I was like, that is so perfect. She depicted it perfectly. Like, what are you talking about? So let's get into, there's some facts. So
was that a minute? That was even less than a minute. Just like let her know, hey, you have a minute. You can do a minute. I mean, you can be longer, but does that shit the speed?
It was like 55 seconds. I know.
She really wanted to keep it under the minute. And she was like, but I gotta say it all.
And you did it. Like, oh, that was so good. So just a quick little timeline for people who might at this point be like, what are they talking about? Or if you might live under a rock. Just kidding. I don't think you live under a rock. Not everybody's in the mainstream stuff, and that's okay. The key events leading up to the trial, November 16th, 2023, is when she filed the lawsuit alleging everything, and she got the $20 million settlement. The 25th, 2024 of March, that's when the federal agents raided his property in Los Angeles, New York, and Miami, seizing electronic devices and narcotics, including ketamine and ecstasy. September 16th.
And all the baby oil.
Yes. September 16th, 2024, he was arrested in Manhattan following a federal indictment on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation for prostitution. He pled not guilty and was denied bail multiple times due to concerns about witness intimidation. October 10th, 2024, Judge Subramanian set the trial to start for May 5th, 2025. I think that's how you say it.
No way. Post
so just staying on the key points before we move on to the trial proceedings real quick. I was thinking about that too. Like outside of the video that we saw, Diddy has gotten away with so many things.
So many things.
So much. So much
many
stuff.
Documentaries about it. And I'm all like, dang.
And so for them to raid get things for him to be arrested and be denied bail that many times and be held there, they got something. He wasn't able to finagle to get his behind out of jail.
They won't go to trial unless they know they're going to win. People be saying, I think if you said somebody said that, they were like, the federal, they're not going to take you to court or trial unless they know they're going to win.
Yeah, they got something. He got denied bail 3 times. He wasn't able to wiggle his little way out of jail. They got something on you, player. Anyways, trial proceedings. So May 5th, 2025, jury selection commenced. On May 12th, opening statements began. The prosecutors accused Combs of operating a criminal enterprise over 2 decades involving coercion, abuse, and the use of drugs to control victims. May 12th through the 16th is when Cassie testified over 4 days, detailing the years of alleged abuse by Combs, including forced participation in drug-fueled sex acts, physical assaults, and threats involving explicit recordings. She described the assault that happened in the hotel room. That was in 2016 when that happened. She also talked about being urinated on. She talked about some crazy stuff. It's actually really, 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 really sad. And her husband's just in there looking.
I would assume
we can't see him. Of course he
these
knows.
things.
We can't see him, but people are like describing what they see in the courtroom because they're not allowing any cameras in there. And people are saying he very upset, clenched jaw, red, like will just death stare at Diddy.
Red.
Like
What's his test?
He's white.
Oh, so you can see that. So you can see the redness.
Yeah, just clenched jaw, like looking like he wants to just, which I feel like any husband would be like that. Any good husband. May 16th, 2025. Any half decent husband. May 16th, 2025, Ventura concluded her testimony. During cross-examination,
Ventura is Cassie.
That's Cassie. The defense challenged her credibility, citing text messages and questioning the timeline of events. She acknowledged lingering feelings for Combs, but emphasized the trauma she endured. Which I also respect. I was seeing that it's not like she was trying to super portray herself as a victim. It's not like she was like completely woe was me. She would say things like, I did enjoy this at a time, or I did want to keep him happy, or I was in love with him. So it's not like she was trying to be like, this older man just took a fool. You know, she was up there being honest.
Yeah, she said she wanted it until she didn't.
Right.
And when the person says they don't want any tea, they don't want any tea. Even if you start making the tea already, they say, hey, never mind, I don't want any tea. Don't give them any more tea.
So on the freak offs, she just described how she was coerced. She said it made her feel worthless. During her recounting of the hotel assault, she said she's not a rag doll. And there was the security guard.
She said she's not a rag doll.
She was just saying, I'm not. That's just like a quote, like during her testimony of what happened. But also with that too, a little more context. The head security guard who was there for that, who saw everything that happened initially, who ended up getting her out of the room, said there was another man in the room. He didn't really elaborate on it because he didn't feel like it was very pertinent to the case.
I don't see how.
I know. But he helped her get out of there, actually. He made his staff aware of what happened, told them to do what they needed to do. And then when he left, that's when he was able to coerce and bribe the other staff that was there to make the footage disappear, quote unquote, or never come out until did.
This is alleged? This is what actually happened?
This is what actually happened. He had to testify.
He testified that he had people make footage disappear?
No, he testified that when he was there, he did everything he was supposed to do, and relayed to his team what was supposed to happen. But then when he left, that's when nothing happened.
Why did he leave? Is that procedural to leave while the assailant or assailants
probably normally
are still there?
It's probably something he did in the past, and they probably did what they're supposed to do. And then it's probably not often that it's Diddy and offering money.
Is a procedure for him to leave ever at any time? If you're overseeing it, then you oversee it. So
true. And then on the $20 million settlement, Cassie expressed that she would forgo the settlement to have avoided the abuse. She said that she would give back every dollar to never have gone through any of it.
I mean, okay, but you can't do that. So,
Yeah.
Well, if I could, I would give the money back.
But,
I can't. But if I could, best believe I would give back every cent, which I believe. But at the same time, I mean, why are you?
So
making that
then
statement?
you remember Danny Kane?
Yes,
How
I
you
had
gonna
the dollhouse. Like, bro.
We in the car.
I listened.
We ride
I
slow.
listened to that album
We
so
gotta
because they
dance
sound
what the
their
girls
voices
gon'
blended
do.
so well
The
together
voice did.
on the first
Smile
one,
back.
and then
All my girls in the rainbow Cadillac. Yeah. Show stopping. So I have just started driving that summer, fresh out of high school, and my little Mitsubishi Mirage stick shift. Yes, I could drive a manual. Thanks, Dad. With my little sound system with a little pop-out radio. And me and Ashley used to drive around bumping that song.
Pop-out radio.
Remember how the deck would pop out?
Oh. What car was this?
I got Zatia's old car. The Mitsubishi.
The Mitsubishi?
Yes, I loved that car.
I did.
I loved that car. I might try to get another little one. Anyways.
I think it was like a lot.
So Dawn and Aubrey are both being questioned. Yeah. And Dawn was testifying to witnessing the abuse in 2009. He came downstairs screaming and continued to hit her in the head and kick her on the ground. Is what he did in front of Dawn. I already know Aubrey's testimony is going to be lit. I don't know if they've done it yet. They might be doing it right now.
Umbrella. They going to mess around.
And here's the thing.
Umbrella going to show up to the
But here's the thing. Aubrey has been trying to tell us about Diddy forever.
And she's a white woman.
Yes.
This is the crazy part.
Yes.
Like, this is a black man. This is a white woman in America. It's like, bro, but that's how untouchable Diddy. I'm just thinking about that. Untouchable for a Karen. She can't even play the Karen card on Diddy. Unkarenable. That's crazy.
Forever. So, sorry. So, I'm excited to hear what her testimony is. And then during the cross-examination, of course, Diddy's team was just making Cassie read explicit text messages and stuff between her and somebody who was her boyfriend at the time to try to like mess with her credibility. And it's like,
oh, they're saying, oh, guys, she's a freak.
Like,
what's that have to do with the Rico?
That was
trial?
Her boyfriend.
What's that have to do with her? Okay.
And that's what people are understanding. Like, we're about to have 7 weeks.
We agree with the escorts, and that's the Rico part, right? He was taking them across state lines and whatnot.
Yeah.
In an enterprise. That's credible or not.
Right.
It's like, don't believe what? We can believe that they had the escorts, right? Y'all said that was true. She called the escorts. So are they going to try to say that? No, she was the real master, boy. Is that what they're going to say? Interesting.
The trial's going to go for 7 weeks. Apparently this judge is no nonsense on it. And it's like people, that's what I was going to say. People need to understand this is literally just the first week of trial. And they're only talking about this to like set things up, to talk to his character. This is just the beginning of the so-called, it's not even really, evidence quite yet, but this is just the beginning. So if this is how it's starting, and it's starting very hot and heavy, no pun intended, but there's a lot of stuff coming out, and this has just been week 1. So it's like I said, this man was denied bail. They have a lot more that we're going to be finding out about. And I'm wondering if they have stuff on what really happened to his baby mama, Kim Porter, and I'll be sure who's saying what, I'm wondering if they have those things, but it's very interesting to watch. It's also extremely disheartening because like you said, while a black man shouldn't have the black community on his shoulders, but it's like,
this is America. So
like he was Puff. He was Diddy.
Superman.
It just could have been a lot different with his influence and power and money and everything he could do. It's like,
what? He got the key to the city.
Yeah. It's very disappointing. I'm glad that Cassie made it through. I'm glad that she didn't. And I thought that when she broke up with Diddy, I thought that's when she wanted to unalive herself and her husband helped her with that. And that's how they got together. No, this was after they were married and they already had 2 kids. And she asked him, could you do this without me? And he was
do
like,
we understand trauma?
No. Yes, I understand trauma, but that doesn't mean that I would assume that's how when it happened. And he was like, no. And he stopped her from walking out in traffic. She was just going to walk out in traffic and end it all. And then that's what triggered to getting into the deep therapy, writing the book, sending it to Diddy, and the case and everything.
Yeah, I felt we were talking, and it was like there's a spiritual side and there's the medical side too, and I feel like they work in tandem. I have suicidal thoughts and depression. I'm not at a point to where I need like medication, but for me personally, I can understand. It's like it has to be. It's like they say it's a chemical imbalance. I'm like, I don't mean help me understand. I know God, I've met Jesus Christ. I know you know what I'm talking about. I know what the truth is, but it doesn't stop whatever is happening within my mind and in my emotions that causes me to feel certain things, and then almost take it out. I watched something with Deion Sanders was talking about. He just drove his car like off the road, and there were several times where I had those same thoughts. So
Intrusive thoughts. I have
and
intrusive thoughts.
especially like I'm like with the trauma, it's like what goes on in the brain, especially with her having been so young. Like all that's gonna do is exacerbate. You know what I'm talking about? Like these thoughts. So it's gonna be something that she's battling with
forever.
Until Jesus comes back. As long as she's still here on this earth, that's what she's gonna be battling with. The whole family, because now she's part of a unit, so they inherit, her trauma. Hopefully they can. It's gonna be crazy when they grow up. How old are their kids right now?
Pretty little, I think.
And then also Diddy's kids.
His daughters walked out of the courtroom when the escort went on the stand.
Voluntarily?
Yeah.
The twins, right? They're twins?
I think he has 2 twins and then 1 daughter that's not, obviously, or it would have been triplets.
Oh, so he has 3 girls?
I believe so. And he has maybe 4. I think he has like an infant right now.
From who?
Some random, let me get her name.
Goodness gracious.
It ain't Young Miami.
I don't know, man. That's just weird, man. Like, remember I talked about the girls that was in my college classes? Like, they're graduating and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be all like, oh, they're so pretty. And I immediately think of my daughter. They're not even black. They're not even black.
His youngest daughter, Love Sean Combs, born on October 15th, in Newport Beach. The mother
Sean Combs
of Love is Dana Tran.
Totally cut me off.
Sorry.
I do not accept that apology. Delete.
The mother of Love is Dana Tran, a cybersecurity professional who also engages in part-time modeling.
You're a cybersecurity professional and a model?
So he has Quincy, who's adopted.
Is that like
we
Beauty
know that.
and Brains? Would you say it's like Beauty and Brains?
Justin with Misa Hilton, Christian with Kim Porter, who rest in peace, Chance with Sarah Chapman, Delilah and Jesse James Combs, Lord, with Kim Porter, and then Love Sean Combs with Dana Tran. So he has 1.
So there's 3 with Kim. Those are the
4,
ones that look the most like them.
5, 6, 7.
Like his son, who's like spitting image. That's Kim's, right?
Yeah, I think I feel like you're talking about Justin.
He also raps. He's like he's like a little Diddy.
Yes, actually, I think that's Christian. So it's all very sad, but I'm glad it's coming to light. I'm glad it's getting attention, but I also feel like who else do we need to be looking at? Because who did Diddy cross to be getting away with all this for so long? And then now everything's coming out. Like, was it really just Cassie's little lawsuit that triggered all this? Was it really? I don't know.
Probably not, man. Everybody talks. And again, I'm gonna just keep on preaching that it comes down to this prestige that we give positions. And then you're thinking about your situation and you want it to be worse. And then we just allow these men to do things. This is just basic men sinning. It's been going on since Adam ate the fruit. Men have been sinning, right? And it's not just, men, but man is in civilization, but specifically, men. That's what they're doing. They're sinning and they get more influence. Oh, ain't nobody I got away with it. And the more they get away with it, the more they want to do. That's how sin works. It's a devourer. It's never going to be quenched. So that's why it says what you do in the dark will come to the light. Because you're going to keep on doing it until you get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Because let me get some more. Let me get some more. We started out being a secret, but the longer you go on doing it and not getting caught, you're thinking, ain't no consequence. I can do even more. Oh, I can have it all. And your depiction of it all is like you're really taking away from yourself. That's why you're free to serve.
Yep.
Jesus.
So I don't know. We're gonna continue to watch and see what happens. We have 7 more weeks ahead of us, folks. This is just the beginning. I'm expecting lots more bombs to drop, and I'm expecting it to get pretty wild. And I'm expecting to delete some more folks. Do you have anything else to add?
We all need Jesus. If this is any indication.
How long have we been talking? I'll save this topic for next week.
If there's any indication, hopefully there's at least somebody like, oh my gosh. But we need to protect our kids.
Big time.
That's what I'll say. This is
big time.
And I think your kids go
because while 19 is considered an adult, I was wondering where was Cassie's parents at?
Yeah, where's our whole family? Like, whoa.
My 19-year-old comes home and a 30-something-year-old, I'm gonna be like, what?
Yeah, I say like 24. I feel like 24, like, 26.
Maybe Timmy. What happened? Then I would just fight her. I'm just kidding. Or am I?
Delete.
Anyways, I guess that's it. Have we been talking long enough?
We don't talk however long you want to talk. What are you talking about? No time frame.
I do want your opinion on this. It could maybe be fast. So I saw this thing on TikTok where there's this lady who I guess her little boy has been asking to marry mommy on Mother's Day for the longest time. And so for Mother's Day, her husband surprised them with a wedding at home in the living room and let her baby marry mommy. And recorded it and posted it.
It is adorable. Is he like 3?
Yeah.
That's adorable. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, yeah. Sure. That's a good Mother's Day gift.
Is it?
Yes. I mean, in 2025 with the climate, that's the only thing that makes me question it. Because, well, like, look.
Take Savannah to be your lawfully wedded mommy forever. Savannah, take Preston to be your lawfully wedded son forever. You may now kiss your mommy.
That was beautiful. And you got people like you in the comments are like,
First of all, I'm not in the comments like anything.
I don't think, especially because do you take her to be your lawfully wedded
mommy?
That was very appropriate. Yes, even with this climate in 2025. I feel like that was the sweetest thing. And for those of y'all who don't know, the reason why we missed a weekend is because I flew out.
Oh, that's what I was going to open the show with, actually, and I forgot. So
I flew out to surprise my wife. Me and my son went out there for a Mother's Day weekend, a little like getaway, and it was great. And I gave her, just so you know, men, I think this is a nugget. I had reservations and I called her in the morning when she woke up and I said, hey, get ready. come pick us up from the airport, and then we're going to go straight there. It was like a 3-hour drive. And she was not stressed because she had ample time to like get ready and like still do stuff she wanted to do because our flight wasn't getting there until like 5 p.m. I thought about this because it would have been selfish to be like, surprise, let's do it. And it's like, well, let me consider the life that she already has.
Did you think about it, or did you ask for a little advice?
I asked for clarification. I was like, hey, so this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? As women, if you're a husband, because I also do it in my life.
Welcome.
I was all like, so that's ample time, right? And I actually gave her more time than that because I was thinking about the layover, and I was all like, well, let me just do what I initially get on the plane.
Yeah.
And she was all like, yeah, I'm happy you did that because I didn't stress about it at all. Boom, pat on the head, good husband. But that is like, it's not the same thing, but it's almost the same thing. I gave her a Mother's Day where, she had all her kids and family. And
that's not the same thing at all.
It's the same in the sense that I'm going to do this because the husband, surprised her and said, oh, this would be the sweetest thing. And it is. And now they got that memory forever. The husband
giving the effort for sure. That's sweet.
That's what I mean.
Now, granted, we don't know what conversations took place in their home, right? Behind closed doors.
But we can assume because
I'm talking about people being like,
mommy,
right. That's
so
what I'm saying.
We can assume that it was appropriate.
I feel like I'm the type, I would still try to make it like, if my husband surprised me with that, I'd be like, oh, I'd still try to make it something, but I wouldn't want to call it a wedding or marrying mommy because I would want that to be clear. But I would still do like some kind of special something.
At 3 and all their kids look like they might still be in diapers. I feel like that was like, yeah.
Yes, at 3. When Trace was little, he said something like that to me.
That's what I'm saying. I guess that's a thing.
And we didn't
It's like the same thing with with daughters and dads and then my sons and moms. It's all like, it seems about right. And he's gonna look back and be all like, oh, I remember that. Or he's gonna be
somebody was like, she's gonna play that at his wedding when he gets married, and she's gonna be the type of mom to be like, he married mommy first. I was like,
maybe.
We don't know that. But then there's this other mom that came up while I was looking into this a little bit.
Would you marry me, Mom? Would you marry me? Would you marry me?
No, you don't. No.
Why? Why you ain't with me?
I'm your mommy.
But you ain't too.
You gotta ask another girl.
Why?
I can't be your wife.
Why?
I can only be your mom.
But you would be like a princess when you marry me.
I could be a princess when somebody else marry me.
I marry you. I said marry you, Mom. I said marry you,
Immediately a different dynamic.
Yeah.
Because that's a single mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the other depiction in this big grand house, this is trying not to bring race into it, but
it was white.
It was a very stable nuclear family. All right, nuclear family meaning both parents there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both parents, a big man and woman, I think, is the nuclear family, and it's possible that she be having conversations about finding a man. And it's possible that he hears that and he's all like, well, I'm a man. I can marry you, mommy. And then you won't have all these problems and issues. This is an assumption. But at the same time, based on her response and then being all like, no, somebody else can marry me and be a princess. Instead of being like, well, I'm daddy's princess. There's a lot of implications there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that it's, context matters, and what the context in the situations, Mother's Day, sweet, boom, yep, okay, for that. And again, I don't think either way is right or wrong. I feel like no, you can marry or you can't marry me because I'm even if daddy's like, well, I'm already married to daddy. You're gonna have to get older, and then marry somebody else when you get older.
And that's people were saying that she should say. And I hadn't watched it yet. And then when watching it, I was like, oh, he said, oh, lawfully wedded mommy. So I'm like, it's hard for us to assume what conversations they might have had about it. But he said lawfully wedded mommy.
I think that makes
and
it
he
easy
said
to
son
assume.
forever. So I don't think people should be as outraged as they are.
People were outraged?
Well, the first post I saw was, let me just play it for you.
Oh my gosh. It was a sweet moment for Mother's Day.
Trying to limit the clips.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
And the caption says, a wedding to marry your child is crazy.
I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not crazy. As a parent, especially a mother, if your child were to approach you and say, Mommy, you are so beautiful, I love you so much, I want to marry you, what would you do? Would you, A, see this as a teachable moment to educate them on what kind of relationships and what kind of connections are appropriate to have with you as their parent, and say, I can appreciate that you love Mommy that much, but mommies don't marry their kids. That's reserved for me and your dad. I love you. You're special. However, that's not appropriate. Or would you set up a fake wedding in your living room where you put on a wedding dress and walk down an aisle to your child? Because that is exactly what this mother did. And then she filmed it and posted it. Apparently, she says that her son had been asking to marry her for a while, and her husband surprised her with a fake wedding for them on Mother's Day. 2 adults put their heads together and participate in this. Like, y'all spent money on this. Like, you went to the store and got balloons and someone was like, oh, what are you celebrating? My son just wants to get married to his mom. He's been asking for a while. Like, hello? Of course, in the comment section, people were like, girl, this is weird. This is weird. Like, why would you do this? Your child has made a connection between marriage and the love he has for you as his mom, but he needed guidance, not a wedding. Kids learn what kind of relationships and connections are appropriate by us, by observing us. This child is truly going to believe for the next at least 5 years that he's actually married to his mom. And when he grows up and gets married, this is going to be played at his wedding. She's going to be telling his wife, like, girl, I married him first. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not crazy.
You said the same joke. So, yeah. Again, it's like what I just said, yo. That's as crazy as deleting somebody for having an opinion. We are thinking that it's like you're making your belief. She has fabricated this whole scenario in her head from a 30-second clip that we saw and a description. Now, my assumption from what I think and stuff like that is that when he said, I pronounce you, this is your lawfully wedded as your mommy, like he married them as their position. So that alone is staying in lines with what she's saying. Well, this is a teachable moment. It still was a teachable moment. We can still be sweet, but we're going to keep it appropriate and say, oh, this is married to be your mother, which she was already. And this is going to be your son, which he was already and will continue to be that. That I feel like what made it appropriate and within bounds. And of course, people are going to be outraged. And if you're asking somebody that question, okay, what if they would do the same thing? The implication is that the right thing is what you feel versus letting somebody be like, yeah, I don't see a problem with it. And me personally, I don't see a problem with it. And even if I did, I mean, they made my kids, you know what I'm saying?
And someone in the comments said, I don't see the problem. I married my mom as a kid and we joke about it to this day. Now, people trying to say something about the kiss. Okay, well, my kids were little. We kissed on the lips.
He was 3. He was still a tiny baby. Stop. Adorable. The cheeks. It's like you're just trying to find something. Right. The only problem with that is that she has adult lips and could get disease or whatever.
They go,
that's
I love you, mommy. Give me a kiss, mommy. Like, are you kidding me? Stop playing.
Sloppy. So
gross. You'd be like, okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Here's a cheek.
Okay. Anyways, there's also a plantation in Louisiana that burned down. That's exciting.
On purpose or accident?
They don't know. They're trying to find out the start of the fire. But I know that little evil Annabelle doll's traveling around the world right now. She arrived in New Orleans and then the house got on fire.
What do you mean the Annabelle doll?
Annabelle,
the real one?
Yeah.
Why? Did they die?
I don't know. Somebody made a joke because I guess the real doll doesn't look like the doll in the movie.
It looks like Raggedy Ann. It's a Raggedy Ann doll.
Somebody was like, just a couple days ago, we declared the gingers as black, which I haven't even jumped into that because I'm not interested.
Are they saying that because of Sinners?
I don't know. I don't know why they're saying it.
They were Irish. Well, I guess that is.
No, I don't think it's because of Sinners. I don't know why. And they were like, and then a few days later, our girl Annabelle gets to Louisiana, and then that happens. I'm gonna show you what the real dog looks like. Real dog looks like. Trying to say she was doing it for her ancestors. I was rolling.
Bruh, relax.
I was rolling, but that was the oldest standing, biggest plantation, and that house burned down. And allegedly, I didn't deep dive this because I wasn't expecting to talk about it. The firefighters put the fire out, and then it started back up
again
on its own. So
that does seem kind of Annabelle-y. That's kind of Annabelle-ish.
I don't know. I hope they don't bring her here. Like, why? For
to what? To burn down some plantations? Come on, Moses.
Take it to DC.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, in the name of Jesus, you will be rebuked heavily.
You all say the Lord's Prayer?
Yeah, only if you mean it. So since you finally seen the movie, that was why, like, people look at it as two ways. Real quick, minor spoilers for certain if you haven't seen it and you're still here. When he said the Lord's Prayer, initially when I watched it, I was all like, why would he expect that to work? He didn't mean that junk. He went home and was all like, yeah, I'm gonna continue to do what I want to do and not, choose, talking about the life.
I ain't gonna hold you. That shocked me.
So I was like, I'm all like, yeah, why would he think the Lord, like, people watching this are probably gonna be all like, oh, but the hex bags work. I'm all like, yo, she believed in that. Did he actually believe when he was saying the Lord's Prayer? Like, I doubt it. People also be all like, well, right after he said the Lord's Prayer, when the sun came up and smoke saved him. So I can see both ways. But if his dad would have been in that situation and his dad would have been the one saying the prayer, I think it would have had a different weight. Like, his dad probably could have like blessed the water and it would have been like holy water, which I believe was one of the tropes that would have worked there. But nothing else.
Yeah, nothing else. We're going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Follow us on all the socials: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, Twitter is X. I think that's it. And subscribe on YouTube. Get in the comments. Talk to us. That's it. And should we say
deuces?
Someone commented. It was actually Jessica. I need to go respond. And she was like, you guys are like the same person, just different